All right, today we're going to talk about graphing inequalities. All right, graphing inequalities. And we've talked about how to graph y equals mx plus b, right? On a graph, if we bring out our calculator and we want to plug in 2x plus 3, oh, no, we need y equals first. But if we want to graph 2x plus, or 3x plus 2, if we press graph, we have a little something here. All right. And every point that is in the graph is shown right here in the table. So all these points are on this line, right? But what we need to talk about is what happens when we want to not just graph what's on the line, but what's above the line. And that's where inequalities come in, right? Remembering that our inequalities signs are less than, greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, right? So if I give you y is not only equal to 3x plus 2, but greater than, then we have to find out how we represent that in this calculator. So if we go to y equals, right? And we use our left arrow to come on over here. And we're going to press enter. All right. And what we see here is we're going to have the color blue to represent our line. But we're going to go right down here to where it says line. And we're going to, for some of you, just have to press enter. For me, I have to press the right arrow until I see this arrow pointing upward. That means greater than. So I'm going to tap OK. And now that I've tapped OK, when I come back over here, I have actually the graph of y is greater than or equal to 3x plus 2. So I press graph. And I no longer just have y equals 3x plus 2. I have y is greater than or equal to 3x plus 2. That's what the shaded region is for here. All right. So suppose I need to graph this, right? Suppose I need to graph this. I'm going to insert a sticky with the grid, right? So that we know what to do here. All right. So I'm going to make my X and Y axis. All right, so this is my Y axis here. This is my X axis. And I'm going to use a different color to plot the points. Now, to figure out how to plot the points, I'm just going to go back to the calculator, press second graph, and choose 2 points from this table. Let's see. We have the point 0, 2. And the point -1, -1. So those are the 2 points that I'm going to graph. All right, 0, 2 is right here. And then -1, -1 is right here. All right. And then if you have a straight edge, use a straight edge to connect these 2 points. All right, and there we go. We have the graph of y equals 3x plus 2. But we just said we want the graph of greater than or equal to, so therefore we got to do some shading on this graph. All right, and we're just going to shade, 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 and shade this way. All right, when it's greater than, whenever the graph, and it's, let me move this a tad. All right, whenever our graph is greater than or equal to, not right spot. All right, whenever our graph is greater than or equal to, our graph is going to be solid and we're going to shade above just like this. All right, just like that. Now, if the tables were turned and we had less than or equal to, then we would do the same graph. That's the equal to graph. And then we shade below the line. Okay. So let's get back here. All right. All right. We have this graph here, right? And it looks real good. Everything that's in the shaded region is a part of greater than or equal to 3x plus 2. So that means if I were to plug in a point in this shaded region or even on the line, this statement should be true. For instance, let's say I plug in 0, 2. All right, 0, 2. So that means y is 2 and x is 0. When I simplify, 2 should be greater than or equal to whatever 3 times 0 plus 2 is, which is 2. And now we ask ourselves, is 2 greater than or equal to 2? The answer is yes. So therefore, we know that 0, 2 is a solution of the inequality, right? And anything in the shaded region will also be a true statement. But anything outside, like this point right here, 1, 0, will not be a solution. 0 is not greater than or equal to 3 times 1 plus 2, or greater than or equal to 5. That's not a true statement, so we put a slash through it. And rightfully so, right? Look at the graph here, right? It's outside of the shaded region, and it's not on the line. All right. So we got that. What happens if we not only want, we just did y is greater than or equal to 3x plus 2. But what happens when we need the equal, just the greater than, not equal to, just greater than, right? That's the one thing the calculator can't do, is graph just greater than. It's going to always give you greater than or equal to, but you have to know where to go from there. Well, if all we need is y is greater than 3x plus 2, we just basically need this shaded region. We don't need this line. Therefore, what we can do is just make a dashed line or a dotted line. So whenever we have greater than, we're not going to do a solid line. We're going to do a dashed line, but we still shade above. And we do that because we do not need the points on the line. It's not equal to, it's just greater than. All right, and we're going to do the same thing here, right? Make it a dashed line because the points on the line don't matter. So therefore, if we put in that point again, where we had 2 is greater than 3 times 0 plus 2, is 2 greater than 2? Right? That answer is no. And that's how we know this point is now not a solution to the inequality. All right. So if we have less than, still a dashed or dotted line, but now the shading will be below the line. And that's if we have less than. All right. So we're going to do some more problems, but just remember that the steps when we're graphing is use our graphing calculator. Go ahead and plug in what you need into the y equals. And if you want to go to the less than side, when you come over here, press the left button and get all the way over here and press enter. Right? You're going to see that there's an arrow that's pointing down. That means less than or equal to. All right. And then when you graph, you're going to see what you need. All right. So it gives you a replica, but if you need to do it on paper, just go to table, choose 2 points, and then plot your points that way. All right. We're going to do more of these in class. Just needed to run through this real quick. All right.